attention.
I understand you and your men have a job to do here, but we're in the middle of a 10-year-old's birthday party.
And I'm sorry, but we are coming in.
That's not a problem. We have nothing to hide from you. My husband is a good man. He deserves respect. This was very disrespectful.
Jessica, first of all, thank you very much for being with us today in Paris.
Thank you.
I'm a big fan of J.C. Chandor. I'm suppose you too, but you accept to do this one, the Most Volunteer, because you've seen Margin Call and All Is Lost, and maybe because you like very much the J.C. Chandor movie?
Yeah, I had seen Margin Call, and then I was in Cannes, and I went to the premiere of All Is Lost. They invited me, and I was like, my goodness. It was such a special movie. And Margin Call is so much about relationships and dialogue and, you know, and the writing, and All Is Lost, no dialogue, no relationships.
Nothing, yeah.
And I thought, he's very versatile of a filmmaker. So he brought up at the premiere in Cannes, Cannes very good for me, he brought up this movie, and I said, sure, I'd love to do it.
But maybe you think the common points between All Is Lost, Most Volunteer, and Margin Call, maybe every time is a journey of the man with difficult environment, I mean, finance for Margin Call, the ocean, the water, of course, for All Is Lost, and maybe for this one is mafia and violence?
Yeah, well, you know what's so interesting about A Most Violent Year is it takes the genre of the crime thriller, like the 1980s that we've all seen, you know, and it completely turns it upside down. It makes it a morality tale, and in a way, it's like a metaphor for the beginning of a businessman in America.
I run a fair and clean business, and I will fight till my last breath to prove that.
These are dangerous times, and we have to adapt. It's not like when we was driving.
There were more murders and rapes in this city last year than there have ever been. So if you've come to tell me that we have an urgent security issue here, trust me, I'm aware.
This can't continue. You're at war here.
It's been 2 years. Do you have any idea who's been doing this to us?
Or you may be doing something to bring this on yourself.
I have always taken the path that is most right. The result is never in question for me. Just what path do you take to get there?
You know, like the capitalism, the immigrant who comes to the United States, he wants to be the American dream. Everyone talks about the American dream and, you know, and the things he has to struggle with to get to that point. And it really sets the stage with everything that was happening with the bank crisis and, you know, in the United States. It really sets the scene for that.
You make some research, I mean, to your character and to prepare this movie. I thought of the Sidney Lumet movie, of course.
Yeah, of course. Well, my favorite, but to be honest, my favorite time in American cinema is the late 70s, early 80s. Like the 70s for me, and you know, Al Pacino.
Period, yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's so exciting, that time period. And for my character, I researched a lot in 1981, and what was happening in New York at that time. I mean, it was like the Wild West in New York.
Yeah.
There was, JC had told me, right in front of City Hall, like from the freeway, there was a burning car that stayed there for over like 3 months. It just, and people had to drive around it right in front of City Hall.
Because the crime was everywhere at this time. I mean, it was amazing. Yeah.
And for my character, I just thought, okay, here's a woman, she's living in a man's world. Nowadays, she would probably try to run the company. But
I'm sure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But when her father gave up the business, probably in 1970, you know, it was not possible for her to kind of take over the company. So she's a woman who is, in a way, the politician's wife. She's going to do whatever she can for her husband, and sometimes that means she does things that aren't so good. I actually thought a lot about Dick Cheney when I was preparing the role. And when I first read the script, I said to JC, I said, I love it. She reminds me of Dick Cheney. This is probably one you're going to regret.
Excuse me?
My husband's an honorable man. We're not who you think we are.
I think I know your father.
Good for you. My husband is not my father. Not even close. So if I were you, I would start treating us with a little more respect, or I guarantee he will make it his mission in life to ruin you. This was very disrespectful. And also, I wear all Armani in the film because he, in 1980, was such a, you know, emerging designer, and I figured she's a woman who came from little money, not so much, and all of a sudden she has tons of money. Mm-hmm. So she wants to put out there in the world that she can have the most expensive things, and I thought only Armani for her.
But at the same time, it's very interesting because your character is very complex. I mean, when we see the couple, you say, okay, this guy is the mafia and this girl looks like nice. In fact, I don't want to say any more. I want too much about the movie, but yeah, she's more complex. I mean,
I mean, definitely. What I love too is JC changes the stereotypes.
Yeah, absolutely.
In films. You know, when you look at those films, you see, okay, the mafia guy and the girl, the wife.
The blonde girl.
Exactly, the blonde girl.
The blonde girl.
And, you know, even the first shot of me in the film, I'm putting makeup on in the mirror. So you think, okay, I know what this character's going to be. But as it starts to go on, you realize, she's a bit different than I thought. Even the idea about the nails. Like, the nails for her were really important, and they're way too long. But I know women at that time had nails that long, and there's something...
You mean like this, or...?
Yeah, crazy. And there's something very predatory about it, like an animal, like the claws in the business. This is a woman who doesn't bathe...
Like a tiger, I mean,
exactly,
or a lion, yeah.
Exactly. She doesn't bathe her children. She doesn't do housework. So the idea of the perfect wife at home, it's not... The second you see her, you think, something is different about this woman.
When I see a most volunteer, you remind me a little bit Michelle Pfeiffer in Scarface with the blonde hair, you know. It's kind of reference you are before the shooting like this. I mean, you'll have to watch the Cinéma movie, but also, some performance on another actress.
I mean, of course, I had seen Scarface. I didn't watch it right before the film. But I think also part of it is in 1981.
Yeah.
If you look at pictures, a lot of women with money dyed their hair blonde. I don't know why, it was such a trend, blonde, 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 blonde. And then I think too with the hair, it was an homage to the genre. So it's like, this is what you expect this film to be, but now we're gonna go like this. What happens if the woman isn't like you expect it to be? It's like this. So much visually, in a way, is a little bit of a trick.
But you're right, because Almost Volunteer is the genre. I mean, film noir, thriller, also character-driven. I mean, it's so well written. I mean, you have a mix of thriller and maybe for me a little bit a real drama. Yeah.
And what excites me about the film is when it ends, I do think like, I want to see where these characters go.
Yeah.
Because you feel like it's the beginning of their story, like something, wherever they go in their future, it's going to be more like, that's what I like about J.C. Chandor. He's so subtle. He doesn't tell you everything in the beginning. And there's this feel like you as an audience can participate in the storytelling. That's my favorite kinds of films.
Where did you get that?
Your youngest daughter found it in the bushes outside her front door. This is your kid playing with a loaded gun. Katie!
Can't have this situation continuing.
If one of these guys shoots someone, it will be the end of everything that we have worked for.
You now have serious legal cases against you.
It wasn't your good luck helping you out all these years. It was me.
I don't want anything to do with this!
When it feels scary to jump, that is exactly when you jump. Otherwise, you end up staying in the same place your whole life. And that I can't do.
Is it exciting to play a character like this? You can push an envelope, I mean,
I love it. I mean, I love to play characters that are different from me. I did this part, which was insane. I did it at the same time as another movie.
At the same time?
At the same time, so I was flying back and forth. I did a Guillermo del Toro film in Toronto and this in New York. So I was flying back and forth to play the characters, and that left my mind a little like, wow, what's happening? But I had so much fun, and also working with Oscar Isaac, who we went to college together.
Really?
Yeah, we went to Juilliard together.
long time ago?
A long time ago. And I originally was going to do this film with someone else, and that actor fell through. And I said to JC, I said, you should look at Oscar Isaac, because I've known him for over 10 years. He's always been good. He reminds me of a young Al Pacino.
Yeah, of course, you're right.
Yeah.
Same profile.
Exactly, but also he has this power,
Yeah.
you know? And I think he's amazing in the film.
You have to be very focused because, like Interstellar, this movie, you are not the leading role. It's a support role. And so sometimes you are, maybe, one day you have to shoot this movie, like you said, you have to go to Toronto and to come back. So you have to be very focused every time. And it's a very challenging work, I mean.
Yeah. Well, I find the more I prepare before I get on set, the easier it is for me to do. If I just show up on a film and not understand who I'm playing, then of course it's going to be a disaster. But if I spend months like figuring out, okay, this woman I'm playing, what are her dreams, what are her fears, you know, what's her backstory, as much as I can about her, the accent, make her as real as possible, then it's okay to go back and forth. I never want to do it again. It was so difficult. But it made it much easier to go, okay, coming back from Toronto, yes, okay, I remember this character I'm playing, yes, go into it. It's like repertory theater.
Yeah, but at the same time, I mean, it's a great opportunity working with Christopher Nolan in Interstellar or Jessica Chastain on this one. So you say yes because, like Terrence Malick, I mean, for Tree of Life, because you want to work with a great director?
Yeah, I'm all about wanting to work with these great artists, these people who have their own voice. They have something original and new to say in cinema. I mean, I've just recently met Xavier Dolan, and I'm so excited I'm going to work with him on his next film.
He's a genius, this guy, and 25 years old.
My God. I know. I saw Mommy at Cannes, actually, and I was like, oh my gosh, this guy is amazing. And he hasn't really been discovered in the United States, so I'm excited to work with him on his first English film and hopefully, you know, have more people around the world know what you guys know.
A few years ago, I remember you have the Tree of Life in competition, also Jeff Nichols' movie Take Shelter. 20 movies in competition in Cannes the same year with you. It was a great thing. I mean,
my first year in Cannes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Jessica Chastain, Champagne, Brad Pitt.
you have a good souvenir about this time. I mean, it was amazing for you.
Yeah, it's the best time ever. I mean, the Cannes Film Festival, it'll always be the most emotional for me, like the most sentimental, because it was the beginning of my career. I had Tree of Life there, I had Take Shelter there. Before the movies came out, they both won prizes, and it was walking down the red carpet with Brad Pitt and Sean Penn. It was like this rite of passage, you know, this metaphor. Yeah. It was my introduction to the world, and honestly, it's such a beautiful place to be. I love to go to the festival. I love to see the films. I love to see my friends now there. But I always think of Cannes as the beginning of my career.
You got a nomination, a Golden Globe for Most Violent Year, like a support role. What does it mean for you? I mean, it's a good thing? Yeah,
but it's also very shocking to me because, like I said, it was 2011 that my films came out for the first time, and that's 3 years ago. So for me, it's a little like, I cannot believe how much my life has changed so much. You know, and with the nominations to get, you know, the films coming out, people liking the films, it's such a change from 5 years ago, from 4 years ago, that I'm still a little like, is this real? You know, because it happens so fast.
Yes, it's real.
But normally it doesn't happen like that. So people tell me some people in the industry say to me, I've never seen it happen so fast for someone, because I work so hard for so long, and it's amazing. It is like every day. It's like, I can't believe I get to do this. It's incredible. And
at the same time, what happened in the Golden Globe happened in the Oscar. But maybe going to be nominated. Do you want to think about that?
But also, you never know, because one of my favorite actresses is Marion Cotillard, I love her.
And Julianne Moore too, if
I love Julianne.
Yeah, so
and
it's good.
To me, though, Isabelle Huppert, right? We all
Okay,
know
Isabelle
that.
Huppert,
Yes.
and Julianne Moore.
But I love, in everything Marianne does, I think, she should win an Oscar. Everything, like Rust and Bone, I thought that movie was perfection, and she wasn't nominated. So I don't understand the awards. I'm a member of the Academy, so I get to vote, but I never in my mind think, okay, yeah, I'm gonna, because some people that I love don't get recognized, and Gary Oldman only got nominated one time in his whole career. So to me, it's a formula I don't quite understand, but I'm very happy and honored any time I get nominated.
What is that?
It's a gun. It's a fucking gun.
Where did you get that?
Your youngest daughter found it in the bushes outside her front door. She was playing with it. Look, it's loaded, with the safety off. It wasn't some kid looking to take our TV. It was a fucking goon with a loaded gun looking in our window.
I'll take care of it.
What does that mean when you say you'll take care of it? It's not a brick through a car window, or another of the cute little warnings over the past few years. This is your kid playing with a loaded gun.
I know what it is. Let me deal with it.
Oh, you better. You're not gonna like what'll happen once I get involved.
Because you made a lot of great movie, really. How you try to choose the project? I mean, depend the director, the subject, the rest of the cast? It's a mix?
Yeah, well, right now, first and foremost, it depends on the director, because I'm very lucky. I'm at this point where I get, scripts to read, many scripts to read. And so the first thing I hear is it's Christopher Nolan's film, or it's J.C. Chandor's film, and I go, I want to work with him, yes! I can't wait to read the script. And then when I read the script, is the character something different than I've done before? Am I going to learn something about life, about humanity, about myself by playing this character? And then it's, who am I acting with? So that's usually the order.
So you say yes right now for The Martians because it was a Ridley Scott movie? Yeah.
Yeah, to be honest.
Yeah.
Ridley Scott is an incredible filmmaker. You look at Ripley from Aliens. Come on. The character was, right? It was written, it was a male character. He changed it to a woman. And Sigourney Weaver's so incredible in it. He did Thelma and Louise. Like, Ridley Scott is, for me, he's a legend in cinema. Blade Runner, I mean, come on. So yeah, to have an opportunity to be on set with him, that's important to me. Just like the opportunity to be on set with Lee Volman for Miss Julie. I'm a film fan. I love being in an audience and watching movies. So I want to be around these great artists.
So you try to see a lot of movie, I mean, during the year, in the theater or on DVD?
I see as much as I can. I prefer to go to the theater. My favorite is to see films at film festivals, because usually you're around all the other artists.
Yeah, you're right.
And you get to talk about movies.
Yeah, just after the screening you can speak with the...
It's like being at summer camp. You know? It's really exciting. And but I always try to go to the movie theater. In New York, I went to the opening weekend of Birdman, and I waited. There was a long line, and I was in the back of the line waiting, and all these people in the line was like, Jessica Chastain. I was like, hey, how you doing? Waiting in line to go see the film, and I love it. I love being around people to watch a movie.
That's funny, because usually when we speak about the Hollywood business with some jealousy or something like that, it's not the case for you. I mean, you like to share the movie with another actor or director.
I love to talk to people about what they've done and what they're working on, and it's exciting to me. I love to read books about the history of cinema. I read a biography about Clara Bow and silent film, and it was so exciting to me to read that. And yeah, that film is my passion. So to be at a film festival or to see, I see signs everywhere right now in France for Whiplash.
Whiplash is a great one.
Oh my gosh, right? How good is that movie?
It's amazing.
Those performances. Yeah. But so yeah, it's for me, that film is my passion.
Merci beaucoup, Jessica. Merci infiniment. Et puis bonne chance pour le tournage du film de Ridley. Good luck for the Ridley Scott movie. Thank you very much. It was a great pleasure. Merci infiniment. Thank you, madame.